Oh yeah. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, good day, good whatever time it is, wherever you are. But then today it's actually true. Okay, it's always been true that you could be in one location, say good morning, and it's night for somebody else. So right now it is what time where I am? I'm in a different location. It is 5:38 now. So in Kenya, I know it is 8:38. Probably 8:38. So yeah, the time zones are different. So it's still morning though. But yeah, the other places now it's afternoon. Other places it's night. Other places it's evening. So yeah, good whatever time it is, wherever you are. Dr. David Osambler here, or the Red Lock Doc, or the Red Lock Doctor, or maybe soon Rasta Doc. How does Rasta Doc sound? Wouldn't be any Rasta Doc. I might go for Rasta Doc. I want to make it shorter, easier to remember. What was I going to say? So I've begun the process. Remember, I keep saying that with this. Oh, you see my feet, my new feet. Look at my new feet. See my rose is here. My almost dying rose, broken souls. My almost dying rose. So for those who do not know, I am the author of a book called Broken Souls: Chronicles of a Humanitarian Health Worker. Let me just show it to you. Let me flash it. I'm the author of this book. Yeah, Broken Souls: Chronicles of a Humanitarian Health Worker, which is basically a summary of the insights of the plight that humanitarians go through, the struggles we have as we are in the field, serving the society, serving the world around us, serving those who need us. And yeah, and also the bottom line, it's a call to action for mental health support for all humanitarians, for all emergency responders, for all that are serving but are forgotten or are serving in the process forget themselves and need mental health support to be able to continue providing the services that they do. You've heard of some of the recent stories, the other stories I've said in the other podcasts, in the other posts, the other triggers, traumas and triggers, about doctors and medical staff and even non-medics. I haven't talked about non-medics though. I'll probably talk about them here or when we start the interviews, that have gone into a mission and within 2 days have completely crashed. Gone into a mission after several months have crashed due to PTSD. Have gone into a mission and have crashed many months later, many years later, because of the trauma they go through. I always call them the demons they carry, the pain that they have to carry, the things they have to see, the things they have to hear. Then they carry them back with them. They carry them away, take them home, so to speak. When you carry your work home, when it's in the mind, you can't leave it at work. If it's physical, you can leave it. You can leave your laptop, you can leave your notebook, you can leave your phone if you want to, but you can't leave this. You can't leave this. You go with it wherever you go. And many times we go into missions with our own trauma. We go into the mission with our own pain. And the only way to cope is to put on a mask. Put on a mask, pretend everything is good to the outside world, pretend everything is good, especially to the people we are serving. I keep saying this, we can't go to the people we are serving and we are also crying and breaking and collapsing and then try to serve them. We can't be this rose, we can't be this rose. Going to the people who are like this rose and expecting to serve them. We both cannot be malnourished, so to speak. So yeah, so this book came out of that. This book came out of pain. I talk about how it came out of my pain a lot of times, came out of my mental anguish, the things I've struggled with, the things I continue to struggle with many times. And yeah, and many people don't understand, especially those who are non-humanitarians, non-responders, do not understand why sometimes we are the way we are, why sometimes we are wired or rewired the way we turn out to be, especially after missions or after several missions or after several years of being in the mission fields. Something switches, something changes. It's not something that we decide to do. We don't decide that. We can decide to put on the mask, we can decide to pretend, but you can't decide what happens internally when the mask is off. You can't decide what happens internally even when you have the mask on and things are happening in your mind. There's turmoil in your mind, there's chaos in your mind. You can't decide that. That happens to you. Now, what you can decide and you can try and control is how you respond to it. But sometimes we have no control even over our response. Forget that. That bottle there. That bottle is a bottle of smoothie. The company is called Naked. Ndede. Yes, that's the name of the company. I don't want to go all the way there. I don't want to post the video, but yeah, I think you've seen some of my Facebook posts. I've posted some of those photos of those companies, the funny names of companies that I've seen in the UK. So that's a Naked smoothie. I think it's something berry boost or something. I can't remember. Yeah, that the polythene there is stuff that I bought. Supposed to eat or whatever, drink. Yeah. So back to the masks we wear. So we can't run around showing people what we are going through, yet we are supposed to be serving them to get them out of what they are going through. So but then that becomes cumulative. That's where the PTSD start coming in. That's where the cumulative trauma starts coming in, because you're carrying your own trauma primary, you're carrying other people's trauma secondary, on the things you're going through sometimes. You go in, you're struggling, you have your pain, and then you go in and then you're blasted. Explosions happen, gunshots happen, kidnappings happen, mass casualties come, people are coming cut in half, people are coming without limbs, children are coming in horrifying conditions. Sometimes you see a baby is born, as I talked about lone baby syndrome in Gaza. A baby is born, the family leaves with the baby, you hear an explosion, then you go and to salvage the family, to save the family, you find the baby is alone, injured, sometimes very severely, and the whole family is gone. Everybody is dead apart from this baby, and it's not one, not two, not three, tens, hundreds of them have been found like that in that situation. So yeah, that's the reason why this book came about. It came out of my pain, because when I was in Ukraine, I've talked about this briefly in one of my other videos. When I was in Ukraine, the first 2 weeks were quite devastating to me. I did not know what was happening to me. I could barely sleep. I could barely eat. I could barely function. I could barely think. The only thing I could do consistently was go to the gym. That was the only thing that I could do. I think I was on autopilot to try and cope with the situation. So all I could do was go to the gym. So I realized 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, now the third week, I just sat down one day and I'm like, what's going on to me? One weekend, we were not too busy, and it had not been a loud weekend. Loud weekend meant you're not being blown up, so to speak. There were no explosions, there were no drones coming in, no ballistic missiles, no rockets. We didn't have that. The sirens, the air raid alerts were there almost every 2 hours, every 3 hours, sometimes, often, more often than that. But there had not been actual hits that weekend. So I was sitting, thinking to myself, what's been happening to me in the last 2.5 weeks? Why am I like this? Why am I feeling like this? And it hit me, wait a minute. You know, the way they say hindsight 2020, you can see things clearly when you look back. I can see clearly now the rain. That one. So then I began looking back, and that's when I realized that the trauma, the pain was coming from all the devastation I was seeing along the way, wherever we had been traveling for the 2 weeks or so prior to that. Hearing the stories from the people. As I told you, I speak Russian, and I now, of course, speak a bit of Ukrainian, so I understand Russian. I understand both Russian quite well. I speak it, understand it, I write it still very well even now. Interestingly, I didn't know. But then I also understand Ukrainian quite well. So whenever we were in the field, we would talk to family members who were coming in, people who were coming in for treatment, because we were running mobile health clinics, and we were providing services, and they would come and talk to us. Of course, I wasn't providing direct care, but I was supervising. That was my job. I was a health advisor, so I was doing supervision, like to the team, working with the team that I had basically supported to hire, and even trained some of them. And the clients, the patients would come and tell us things about their family members that were difficult to carry. And sometimes it's worse. It's worse when you can understand the language, because then you can attach the emotion to what is being said, and it's heavier. And you see, whenever someone is talking to you about something, when they say sharing is caring, kind of, when they say something shared is half. I can't remember that phrase. Phrase has gone away. I haven't checked my BP, by the way, for the last 2 days. It's been a crazy 2 days with planning to travel and stuff like that, and cancellations and delays and whatever. Yeah, so a problem shared is something. Problem shared is something half. That one. You go and look for it. So you are the therapist, me, I'm just the therapist. Yes. So when someone is telling you something, especially something that is heavy, you kind of like carry half of it with you away. So imagine you're carrying half of this, but from several people. So how many halves are you carrying in your mind? How many halves are you going away with? How many halves are you having to process from other people? So already you have your own, you came in with your own, then you're seeing stuff happening, you're seeing, houses destroyed, you're seeing homes destroyed, you're seeing, all this kind of stuff around you. Then people are telling you their stories. All this just cumulatively bogs your mind down. So I didn't realize that I was struggling with this. It's only later, now, the 2 weeks after the discussion with myself, so I realized, oh, wait a minute. So this is what is weighing me down, because it was quite heavy to see the destruction, to see the devastation, to hear the pain people talk about. Women telling us, I was talking about here, people telling, especially women, because it's mostly women who are left. Most men are either in the war zone or kind of escaped or are not alive, unfortunately. So we would go to the field and meet mostly women and children, some of them very old, of course, mostly old, that had not been able to run away. People living with disabilities could not run away, people who were bedridden could not run away, could not escape the war at the beginning. Many people escaped at the beginning, or many people, however, did not escape. We do not know. Some of them just disappeared. And as I said, some women, they just tell you, listen, my whole family left at the beginning of the war. They left going towards Poland, they left going towards Romania, or whatever. And I don't know where they are. A year, 2 years later, I have no idea where they are. And they say they lost contact completely. They don't know if they're alive, if they're dead, if they escaped, if they didn't escape, where they are, what's happening. They have no clue. They're just hoping day after day that they get a call from their family and say, oh, listen, we're good. We just lost our phone. And some don't. Some have never gotten those calls. Some did, yes. Some were eventually able to get into contact with their families and like, oh, at least they're out of the country. At least they're whatever. I know they might be struggling a little, but they're wherever. They're in the UK, they're in the US, they're in other countries. Unfortunately, though, many of them cannot tell you that. Many will tell you our family is left and we have no idea where they are. We don't know whether they survived or not. We don't know whether they were killed or not. It's crazy. And then you go home with that every single day. Those kinds of stories, and you see their homes. You see buildings that were bombed. You see hospitals that were bombed. You see apartments. You see, if you look in the book, there I actually have photos. Let me see if I can find them as we talk. So when you see all that and you hear all that, it weighs down. And then now you come back home or you leave the field, and there's no mental health support. There's no proactive mental health support. I keep saying there is a reactive mental health support where the moment you're crashing, then people run around and then they get a counselor to come and talk to you. That's reactive. You're reactive to something that already has happened. There's nothing proactive where there's a system already set that will support these people before they go in. There's a continuum of care that should be put in place before they go in, so that they're ready mentally. Physically they might be okay, but mentally they're ready to go and to see and address what they're going to see and be in control to some extent, and to know how to cope with it if a situation arises that they're not able to necessarily fight their emotions, fight the demons that are coming upon them from the pain and the trauma. Then during the response, there should be a way, the system in place that they are able to call, they're able to reach out, even if it is online, that, I'm struggling right now, it's heavy, things are happening, we've just been hit, we've just been bombed, I lost some friends, or had about friends, because we would go to places, and I told you, you met someone last week, you come back this week, they think maybe they're on leave, or they've gone for a day off. No, they were killed with their family. We've had those stories that we have personally had of colleagues that we know, or you're out of the mission field, and you see a story in the newspaper, and you see they have very familiar name, a name of someone that you knew, you worked with, even if you're not friends necessarily, you work together, you're bonded by trauma, and then you hear this person is gone with their whole family. It's heavy, it's very heavy. Or you have colleagues you're working with in the office, and then they tell you about, yesterday there was an explosion and my whole family went, or a part of my family was killed, stuff like that. So it weighs heavy. It weighs heavy. So when you see those kinds of things, they're tough, and there's no one available sometimes to talk to the people when they're in mission, during the mission, the active mission. So we need that part. So we said before, we need during the mission someone I can call to, talk to, very quickly, even if it's just on phone or online, and tell you what to do, how to regulate yourself. Then post mission, after mission, there should be the system available. When I come out of the field, there's someone I know I can talk to, somebody I can trust with my feelings, with my emotions, with my vulnerability, that I can talk to and let all this out too. That has to be a mental health professional, a trained mental health person, not just anybody, not a religious leader, not just your family member who sometimes also is struggling with all this. Everybody has a struggle. Every single person has a struggle. But these people are trained specifically to do this, to go through the weeds in your mind, through the weeds behind the scenes, behind the mask, and help you process and help you work this out. They also have a system. I know that psychologists, counselors have a system where they have a debrief at minimum once every month, I believe, where then now they go and offload to somebody else as a group and as individuals, so that they don't crush themselves. We don't have that continuum of care as a proactive system that is available and on standby to support. We don't have that. Many people, I know some do, some organizations do. They've made a conscious decision, and they've set systems in place, and they've set people in place, and it's working. But most do not. Even the big ones do not have them. Let us be honest. They have policies in place. They have people supposedly in place. I've been somewhere. I won't mention the place. I probably maybe mention it inadvertently in a recent video. I've been somewhere where the mental health person is never there in the office. They're always in a conference somewhere. They're always in a meeting somewhere, like 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and never there. I remember looking for the person. I could not find them. I would text them every time. Go to the office, knock the door. It's locked. Send a message. Oh, I'm in this country. I'm in the other country. I'm in this country. I'm doing a training. So what is this person there for, really? If all they do is train, training is good. But supposedly, this program, this department is there to help the staff through their traumas, but the person is never there. The person is always busy in training. So then, what is? And this is a big organization, huge on health, huge on health. Hmm? So they'd be very happy to, yeah, we have a system in place. We have people in place. Those people are in place doing everything else other than supporting their own staff to process stuff. These are people who don't sometimes even go into the actual zone. They don't go into the mission zone. They don't go into the war zone. They don't go into the outbreak zone. They don't. So they can't relate. I keep saying this. You cannot relate unless you are sometimes in those areas. The training is good that you've received. The theory is good that you've received. The practicals that you've received talking to people is good, but you at least once need to go in once to be able to understand why sometimes I don't sleep. Why when I'm sleeping, I'm having nightmares. Why sometimes I'm having flashbacks. I'm not saying that you should go there and get traumatized, but you should go there and have a feeling of the environment that I am talking about. If you've never been, you have no clue what you're talking about. But that's sorry for another day. I'm now getting emotional. So this is a photo. I don't know if you can see it clearly. Of a building in Mykolaiv. That's an apartment block that was hit by a missile. Majority of people who were in it were basically killed in the process. Oh, let me show you an Ebola. So this burial site, this is I told you there are some names that you'll see in an Ebola treatment center burial site. This was at the back of the Bong Ebola treatment unit, the Bong ETU. These are graves. So it's a huge grave site, a huge graveyard. And that was one whole family. I didn't take the whole photo, but that's a family of 4 or so. But the line continues in that direction. The line continues, and it's all the same family name. Those are people who all died of Ebola during the crisis, and it was a whole family that was killed. This was the incineration, the waste disposal areas. Those are incinerators that we were using to dispose of waste. I remember I told you that I had to get community members, community leaders, youth leaders, women leaders, church leaders, imams, and just basic community leaders to go and walk them in the boiler treatment unit before it went live, before it went hot, to show them all these areas so they understood why they see smoke. The smoke is just us burning, destroying PPE. The smoke was us destroying waste from health facilities, so that from the Ebola treatment unit, so that we are not having the spread of the virus further. But again, that goes back to the things that we see, the people that we saw who died in the process, and then we have to carry that away. And then we go home and we are carrying all that pain, and our families, our close ones can't understand why we are just quiet, or why we are angry, or why we are moody, or, things change, things switch, things change. This is a church in Odessa, a Catholic church in Odessa that was hit by, I think, drone attacks had come in and hit that church. It was quite devastating. I just can't find the other photos. This one was scary. So there are apartments that are built like it's a complex. Many apartment blocks. And a missile came and hit right here. Here, if you see this, these are walls of other apartment blocks next to it that were attached to it. Here, there used to be a whole apartment building. A ballistic missile strike hit that and destroyed a whole apartment building and left a U shape right in the middle. So you see, that's a whole block. There's a wall here going this way, a wall here going that way, there's a wall going that way, a wall. So it's like a square, kind of, or a rectangle. I didn't go in. I didn't feel the need to go in and traumatize myself more. This is the same from another angle, the same place. I took these photos. But all the photos in this book I took by myself. None of them is taken from one. I took all these photos myself as we were driving or being in places. This is the same part, you see? Walls, and then suddenly nothing in between. nothing there. So seeing all that, you've seen my brothers. I showed you the one day and talk about them more. You'll be able to see them. Um, so those are some of the scary things that we saw. Those are some of the things that were devastating for me. I could barely sleep for many days. This is a pediatric hospital. This here is a pediatric hospital in Mykolaiv, I believe. That's in Mykolaiv. Yeah, in Berezhnegovata. Berezhnegovata is one of the locations where we were supporting. So that is a pediatric hospital. This is a pediatric department that was hit one morning at 5. Luckily, it was 5 in the morning, so there are no people inside there. Not many people, at least. I think there were some injuries and some casual fatalities, but not many people were injured. So that's a hospital that was hit. And there were many that were actually hit in Ukraine. Many health facilities hit with people inside them. Anyway, I won't show you too much of that, sorry, too many of that. So yeah, so those things are traumatizing. So you carry all that, and then you come back home with that, things you've heard, things you've seen, people you've talked to, and you share with them, they share with you, and you carry that home, and you don't know what to do with that information, processing it. So there's nobody available. Proactive systems. That is the crux of the matter in that book. That is what I'm fighting for. As a mental health advocate, I'm fighting for my friends, I'm fighting for my colleagues, I'm fighting for my comrades, wherever they are, whoever they are. I don't care what they look like, what their skin color is, what their orientation is, what their political affiliations are. All I need is for us to have a system in place, a proactive system in place that is vibrant, that is efficient, that is effective, that can support us all. Okay? I'm trying to set this camera. I'm holding it with my legs. I don't have a stand yet. Not my legs are my stand. My legs are standing on whatever. Yeah. So, oh yeah, so I told you about my feet. So I'm trying this new thing, so that we see how we can spread more the news about the book and the information about humanitarians. I don't know if you can see that. Let me peep through the armpit. So at the back of most, if not all, the apparel that we're putting out is, of course, the hashtag Humanitarian Chronicles. Humanitarian Chronicles is the podcast channel I have on YouTube that talks about all this, where I summarize the book or summarize the stories that might be in the book, or put in more details in the book. And then the QR code there. Hopefully, at some point when you have a website, we'll have the QR code to the website. This QR code is to my link tree that has all the links to my social media handles, to my channel. So you can just scan that. You scan that, and the moment you scan, it takes you to the link tree. You're able to access all that: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, what is it called? YouTube and all that. Everything all goes there. I think even LinkedIn is there. One of the links are there. So my link tree, that's the QR code to my link tree. So thanks Evans for making this happen. So this is basically we extracted this from the book, this is the cover of the book. Okay, the cover of the book is that. So yeah, we have different kinds of things. So you please support if you want. We can make you the branded stuff, the apparel, the merch, so that you're also able to help us spread this word even just by pictures. And say pictures speak 1,000 words. People always ask me why the rose. I was part of the process of the book cover development creation. Why the dying rose? The dying rose is basically our broken souls. We are always on the verge of collapsing, on the verge of breaking up completely, getting destroyed. And that's why we need proactive mental health support systems that can help us not break up completely, break down completely, not break and crash completely. This is who we are. This is us. We are completely broken every single day. The flower is us. That's basically us and how we are all the time. Shout out to Mato, my pilot, my Ndudi pilot. Mato has Mato has one of the, what are they called? A reflector vest from Broken Souls. Yeah, it has the Broken Soul thing over here at the back, and the QR code also. Mato, thank you so much. I have permission from Mato to talk about this. So we're doing it across. So we'll probably have other merchandise available soon. We want to see how that goes. The idea is to just see how we can spread the word on the struggles, so that as many people know and understand, and as many people hear, and as many people get to spread this word about mental health support. Mental health is very, very important, and people forget about it, especially for themselves. We are always running around helping other people, and we forget to run around and help ourselves. People forget to run around and help us. People think we are heroes, and we don't feel, we don't see, we don't struggle. We just wear a mask nicely, very, very nicely wear a mask, and nobody has any clue the pain we go through, all the pain we go through all the time, basically. Why am I not able to speak well? I'm feeling like my tongue is becoming heavy when I'm speaking. Maybe I'm hungry. I didn't eat dinner, by the way. I did not eat dinner. No wonder. No wonder. Ni njaa inanisumbua. Kuwa na njaa nakuwa na shida. Anyway, so very quickly, just want to tell you something. A funny story. When I was in Mombasa with the Afia, it must have been the Afia Plus project. When we moved to Mombasa before my mom passed away. I remember I told you the story about my mom passing away, and yeah, basically we were talking. I was sitting next to her. We were talking. She wasn't even sick, and then she just said, "Oh, my son, let me rest," and she died. So yeah. So when in Mombasa, we were doing interviews there with my boss then, Margaret. I call her Ndagitali. We call each other Ndagitali Bila Mantalau because there's a story to that. So we're interviewing for the office, basically interviewing everybody from medical staff, non-medical staff, admin staff, including all the way to the cleaners and the sweepers and stuff like that. So this gentleman walked in, and I think he had a white coat, if I'm not wrong. Then that's where part of the story came from. I can't remember clearly. Maggie, I don't remember. Did he have a white coat or not? Did I just assume he had a white coat because of the Ndagitali thing? Anyway, so this guy was working in another health NGO in Mombasa that was also doing the kind of work we're doing: HIV, reproductive health, family planning, community engagement, orphans and vulnerable children, vulnerable societies, So he was working in another organization, and he came for the interview. He had applied, came for the interview. So we were there talking to him, and then we asked him, so why does he want to leave the place where he's working at to come and join us? And he's like, mimi nimechoka huko, kuna ndagitali moja anakuanga na manzalau sana, ndagitali ako na manzalau. And we're like, why does the doctor have, why do you think the doctor is disrespectful? He basically saying the doctor is disrespectful. Hivyo ndagitali kila saa anakuja kwa ofisi, anaandika mimi ndagitali. Mimi si ndagitali, mimi ni sweeper tu. Anaita ndagitali ako na manzalau kabisa. Ndagitali ako na manzalau. Kuita mimi kuniita ndagitali sio kitu mzuri. And we're like, no, but even us in the office, we many times just jokingly call each other doctor. Just because we're a medical institution, we're a medical NGO, so we call each other doctor just for the sake of it. And I mean, we are all kind of like doctors, basically, to some extent. You go to health facilities and you find people called doctor. It's a sweeper, but he has a white coat. People call him doctor, and they don't say no. Unfortunately, some use that to their advantage and go and start providing medical services in the community and getting paid for it. So the guy he was like, no, partner, mimi sitaki hiyo story, sitaki kuitwa ndagitali, hiyo ni manzalau, hiyo ni kama manzalau kabisa. So suffice to say, we never hired him because of that kind of attitude, just so negative. And we were like, no, this guy, his lack of humor will be a problem here. He'll be fighting everybody and throwing hands and legs at people for calling him a doctor because it's a joke that was just around the office. So we're like, even we have that joke, but okay. So when we finished the interview, the guy walked out. Looked at each other with Margaret. Ndagitali. No, kuna manzalau. She's like, no, sina manzalau. Na ndagitali kuna manzalau. We're like, oh. Kutoka leo ni ndagitali means bila manzalau. So if you see even our messages, our salutations, ndagitali means manzalau. Ambali yako. And that's how and even Margaret is Kamba. So it even comes out better from her. But yeah, so that became a joke for us since 2010. And we always maintain that's our salutation to this day. Ndagitali bila manzalau. Because of that interview. So why did that come to mind? It came to mind because sometimes people struggle with how they are referred to. And of course, this guy was in his right to say he didn't want to be called a doctor. It's in his right to do so. It's fine. I mean, it was funny to us, but it was fine. It's okay. That's his right. I remember that because the other day I was in a gender-sensitive training done by the iHub or CC Hub. This is this outfit that supports creators, podcasting and trainings and even fund sourcing for funds. And it's a big thing. I know it's in West Africa, in Nigeria, and it's here in Kenya. I can't remember which other countries it might be in. I apologize, my memory is sometimes wanting. Yeah. So wow, I was remembering that. Yeah, so there's a lady who came on, and towards the end of the training, it was a 2-day training, 6 hours each. She was then towards the end of the training, she had a question, and her concern was, how does she convince people that she's a content creator? Because she works in the background. She's content creation on TV, but in the background, the guys who like behind the scenes, the camera people. So she's one of the people she's a writer in a particular like podcast or show and stuff like that, and then she's in the background. But when she told someone she's a content creator, the person, I don't know nothing about it. A content creator is the person on the screen, the person that we see, the person that is talking, the person that is doing whatever they're doing. You are not a content creator. You are just whatever it is. And she sounded like she was really hurt by that, and she even said I was quite hurt, and I don't know what to say to such people. And I came up and said, listen, my friend, my dear, you need to come to a point where you are teaching people how to refer to you. Let people know how to refer to you. You dictate how people refer to you. Not let people dictate to you how you should refer to yourself. Because apparently the person told her not to call herself a content creator, and she was hurt and of course pissed, and all the things that the negative emotion that could evoke by someone putting her down. So I told her, no, don't allow people to tell you what you are. You tell people what you are. You tell people, teach them, train them, force them to treat you the way you want them to treat you. Where was that going to? My locks. I remember mentioning in one of the videos when I was about to go for my interview with WHO, someone in WHO has locks, by the way, she has sister locks, and she had them for longer than I had. But of course, mine eventually grew, and mine are like big locks. How she could hide in a weave, do whatever it is, she style them. Mine are just obviously locks. Yeah, they're locks. So I was like, yeah, she was like, yeah. So you're going for the interview. What about your hair? Are you going to cut it off? Are you going to, what do you plan to do with your hair, before you go for the interview? And I'm like, what? Why should I plan anything with my hair? See, it's mine. And then I remembered when I remember chatting with her and sending her a message saying my hair, it don't move. You remember the lady who very wisely took Gorilla Glue and applied on her hair to make it shiny and sleek, and like nicely patted down. Then the gorilla hair, of course, did its Gorilla Glue did its gorilla thing, and she had like a rock on her head. You should knock, and it said like, and the pain she was going through, and for many weeks or months she could get it off, and so she came on TikTok and she was telling people, I put Gorilla Glue in my hair to make it all sleek and stuff like that. Now nothing, and she's hitting it and trying to wash on, of course, online. Whether it was she was looking for for views, I don't know, but she got views. Then she became a meme, and those this thing that my hair, it don't move. My hair. So me, I told her, hey, my hair, it don't move. It don't move. It will remain as locks. And actually, I let it down that day on the interview. Let me let it down so you can see. It was a bit shorter then. I let it down. I'm like, yeah. So for the interview, in fact, they need to see that I have locks. I can let it down. I'm like, yeah, I have locks. So accept me as I am. Accept me as I am. And yeah, and I've said this before. My bosses especially in the humanitarian world, did not have those the jokes, of course, because I began my locks were this short when I started. Probably saw the photos somewhere. I've posted them. My lock journey, like tiny like this, and then now they've grown in the last 4 years. They're that long, and of course sometimes we snipped them off because edges were breaking and stuff like that. But I've never colored them. I've never done dye, so I hope that they maintain them, just grow along without having to break. So yeah, I made a decision to have locks, and I made a decision, of course, to have this. The other day, one of my cousins, much older than me, was like, "Hey, and you, man, you have so much hair. What's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, Kenyozi is closed. Yeah, the machines are broken. I don't want to, but of course, I don't. That's not the reason. It's a joke. We were joking, but at the end of the day, when we were done, I was about to leave with my other cousin, and he was like, "Yeah, Ben, my home name rather. One of my names is Benjamin, so at home I'm called Ben. No one calls me David. If you ask for David at home, they're like, eh? Who is that? Doctor who? Dr. Ben was somebody they know. Dr. David. That one I have never seen. So he was like, I don't mind your locks, but now this beard of yours, it's scaring us. I know maybe outside there you need sometimes fit in, like, in countries where there are people who are like that, in the Muslim countries. But I think it's not about the Muslim country. I'm doing this because I want to do this. He's like, no, this beard scares us. So when you come home, sometimes you trim. I told him, boss, see the kidneys is broken. Joseph Paul. I told him, I'm not going to shave. The barber. The barber is non-functional. Barber is out of stock. Anyway, yeah. So back to why. So I told her, no, I'm not taking off my locks. In fact, if they'll take me, they'll accept me. Because yeah, that's it. And in the NGO sector where I worked, when I started my locks out there, well, with Health Pool Fund in South Sudan, that was funding basically 80% of the country in health. And yeah, I remember saying that our boss then, Mick, who was believed to be a doctor because of how like he was really knowledgeable of stuff, but he was very wise. He would come and before a meeting, he would come and talk to me as a health person, then or talk to my boss, who was a health person, and get all the information he could from that perspective, and he would go and just spew out terminology and spew out wisdom from health. And everybody thought he was a medical doctor. He wasn't, not even close. Not even close. He had no medical training whatsoever, not even paramedic. But yeah, Mick was amazing. Mick is amazing. We are still in touch with him. So yeah, when I went down, Mick is ex-military, like very senior military, and yeah, British, like yeah. So I thought, hey, this guy will complain about my hair, blah blah blah, how I look, and he was like, hey, David, you're changing your style, huh? Okay, cool. See you later. He always cracked jokes about me and my hair, and they always like, yeah, so you got to be like Bob Marley, gonna get long. I didn't even know I'd make it this long. I thought it was just probably get maybe here and then I'll cut it, or go back to original settings. But I'd always wanted locks. Apart from the kind of rebellion out of breaking out of systems and getting out of the box, not just thinking out of the box, getting out of the box completely, kicking the box open and getting out of it. So you think outside of the box, like you're out of the box. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I got to my lock journey, and yeah, Akili, it's your brain, not Akili Ninjwele, but Akili Ninjwele. It's basically what you have in here in your login, not what people see, and that makes a huge difference because sometimes people judge. I've been judged many times. I've been judged and misrepresented and mischaracterized and dismissed because of how I look. Even before I had locks, I was judged and dismissed because of how I looked. Sometimes I'd be huge, like I would do like proper gym, and I would be big, and people were like, "Ah, uni bouncer." Other times, they'll be like, "Yeah, when I'm very slim, uni jamaa tu wa kawaida, uni jamaa wa kawaida tu, uni muulize ni maganga wangu." So the people you always judge, by the way. The other day I was sitting with friends of mine, Timo. Asante sana for introducing me to the organic farmers market. With Timo's sister, Atieno, also has locks like me, but has like style. So she was saying when she began reading the book. She was flipping through. Timo had bought a book, and thanks Timo for buying the book, and thanks for introducing to the farmers market. But thanks because of that, now we have books in the farmers market in Grace's bookstore. So please, when you pop into the farmers market in Karim, pale La Terrace, please pop into Grace's bookstand and grab a copy. We have copies there, signed by me. I signed them that day, actually, last Saturday. So pop in and grab a copy for yourself. Broken Soul. You may be wondering, you just join and you're watching video from the middle. Yeah, that's the book. Wait a minute. You see that? That's the bookmark I got from the Punchline comedy show Girls Aloud that I went to on Saturday evening after I left Kinatimo. So yeah. So Punchline Comedy does stand-up comedy Wednesdays free of charge, open mic at where at Two Grapes wine and friends in Kilimani, Padmo Road. Then of course this one, the paid shows and a show like this for Women's Day, International Women's Day, was that all ladies only performing, from the host to the main acts. Yeah, so Saturdays at not Saturdays, but I think once a month at Wasp and Sprout in Loresho. So yeah, that's a thing. So please come join us, come support us, come watch us, come laugh with us, laugh at us. I also do stand-up comedy there. That's a group I've decided to go with for my stand-up comedy revival this year. Moving forward, so yeah, I'll be in open mics. It's now that for this week and next week I won't be there because I'm away. I'm in a different location. As you can see from my studio, it's very different today, and the lighting is bad in this room, so I have to kind of squeeze in a corner where there's a bit of light coming in. Where I am, where I am, what was I saying before? Anyway, where I am, I walked in last evening. Um, so I walked in from the road and came in, into the building, did my check-in. Then when they're done, the lady says, we are now on 5th floor. Your room is on 3rd floor. So go to the left. So at the left, you'll see a lift, and go down to 3rd floor. Have you ever think? Have you ever scratched your head internally? Are you mad? You the craze? Your craze past my no. I beg. How you go say we there 5th floor? No be road be this. Nope. I was thinking, what the hell is she talking about? That's okay. Maybe she's just crazy. Let me just go. I don't want to make her feel bad. Maybe she has a Ndagetali Bila Bangalao syndrome. I have no idea. So I walked where the elevator was. Looked at the elevator, the list of floors. We actually were on 5th floor, apparently. 6th, 7th up. So the floors up were 6th and 7th that I could see from the road. We're in the basement. As we speak right now. I'm 3rd floor, but I'm 2 floors under the road. And there's still 2nd and 1st floor below me. I was like, yo, okay. You see a building, you think it is small from outside. Apparently, the building goes down, not necessarily only up. I'm still baffled. I'm still baffled. I've just been here for the night. I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming. I'm still baffled. I'm like, yo, isn't it gun? Isn't it my what? So yeah. Anyway, so I'm somewhere underground right now. So there's no sunlight like I used to do in where I used to be in Nairobi doing my whatever. You could see very nice sunlight coming in. There's no sunlight, bro. So I can't wait until during the day to record to do my shoot. Anyway, yeah. So what was I saying? Lost my train of thought again. Um, how people relate to you, how people refer to you is determined by you. So do your best to let people know how you want them to refer to you, how they should refer to you, who you are, proudly and with your chest out, 10 toes down. Don't let people tell you how they want to refer to you. I know life sometimes happens and crap happens and shit hits the fan, and then maybe you are the fan or you are next to the fan and it's hitting you through the process. That can happen, but do your best. Whether you're a creative, whether you're a medic, whatever it is you do in life, be the one to let people know how to refer to you. Let people refer to you the way you want them to, the way you are, no, the way you want them to. You've seen politicians do that very well. Entertainers do that very well. There's a perception and a persona that they create, and people now then relate to them by that perception and by that persona that they see. Create your persona. Let people relate to you by what you want them to do, the way you want them to. Anyway, it's time to go. This is 41 minutes of fun. I woke up at 4 in the morning again. I slept at what time? 1 a.m. after blacking out on the bed several times. I was exhausted. And yeah, so it seems nowadays 3-4 a.m. is my wake up time, whether I like it or not. I mean, of course, it's been from, especially after Ukraine, especially after Gaza. I told you about Gaza, how 3 a.m. is when they would intensify hits, and so we would have ballistic missiles dropping, and rockets and drones dropping payload. From 3 more intensively. Gaza was basically every hour. I've not been there during this current ceasefire. They say there's less bombing, probably 3-4 times a week, which is still intense because anytime you hear a missile drop, somebody is dead. That's unfortunate. That's a reality. Anytime. So in Ukraine, we're like, ooh, that was a bit far. Someone told us, don't celebrate. Somebody has died somewhere. Anytime you hear somebody has died somewhere, either military or non-military, especially in this kind of times, it's mostly non-military people who are being killed. Civilians are being killed, and for babies, newborns, women, old men, old women who have nothing to do with the war are the ones who are being killed in the process. So anytime it drops, someone has died. Some people have died, and people are injured. So it was never really a celebration when you survive. So I'm working on bookmarks. You'll see an interesting quote. Some interesting quotes on the back of the bookmark. One of the bookmarks. But yeah, so the quote from my book, or the cover, it says, has a quote that was given to me by one policeman. You may not be able to read it here. If the bullet was meant to kill you, you would not have had it. This came from an attack by shifters. Shifters are armed gunmen that used to be very frequently along the Isiolo to Moyale road, and even the roads to Wajir and Marsabit, the roads to Garissa were quite frequented by shifters. Armed gunmen who would basically rob people. They rarely would they attack and kill. They would basically just attack, rob, and go away with the stuff they could sell. So yeah, we were attacked by shifters, and they were shooting at us, we were running away, and they were shooting at us with automatic rifles. And yeah, so you remember you see in movies, you have pew, pew, so you hear the gunshot, and then bullet whizzing past, you can see them hitting the sand and sand being thrown up and hitting a tree next to you and bark being thrown out, thrown towards you, and you're running away. And I told people I was running like this. I was telling Itugi, he was laughing at me. I was just running zigzag. There I see people in movies, but also they were seeing the other people running in the bush with me, running zigzag. So apparently, I don't know if it was working or not. We were not hit. Maybe it was because of the zigzag, or also because they didn't want to necessarily kill us, or just trying to scare us to stop so that we can go back and get a few slaps and they rob us. But anyway, so that's how it worked on that day. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking to the end. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy our sessions where you are the therapist and I am the therapistee. You are the counselor, I'm the counselee. As I keep saying, yeah, these are my therapy sessions, and of course the comedy, stand-up comedy, is my second therapy session, or the first one. Of course, my copy mechanism is writing, gym, and scripting. Now I'm putting it on stage, so when you come to the comedy shows, with the passion and comedy, those are actually the two that I've done that you've watched. Those are my actual life stories. When I talked about people judging me because of my hair and my tattoos and my muscles, those are actually life stories that happened to me. That happened to me. And when I talked about, Mwalimu Muhammad telling me that I would never become anything after high school, that actually happened. Mr. Mutunyi actually told me, because I had a box haircut, that I would become nothing in life. That's why I did that skit, and at the end we said, we played that song kwa bar. Modewa Mao ulisema hatuendi mbali, hapa ni wapi? Two grapes kwa bar. Okay, so yeah, when last week I talked about my high blood pressure thing. I talked about midlife crisis, and that was actually true. I actually now walk around with the blood pressure machine because my blood pressure was so high. I was in stage 2 of hypertension, 169 over 120 sometimes. Was my blood pressure in the last couple of weeks. For whatever reason, it's never been high. I was so shocked when it was high, but I was going to donate blood. And my blood, those are my stories. Those are actually life stories. I'll be telling you some other soon, and you'll be laughing, which is the whole point. Which is the whole point, you'll be laughing. And yeah, those are my life stories. I don't script, I just narrate what I've gone through. So yeah, broken souls. I'm a broken soul. You're a broken. No, I hope you're not. I am a broken soul. I am damaged. I am damaged goods. Yo, I'm a damaged day. Sana huku juu. Damaged. Yo. One day you'll know to the extent of the damage, if you still don't know. Thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful time. Please remember to buy Broken Souls. Remember to buy Broken Souls. Chronicles of a Humanitarian Health Worker by Mua. Yeah, that's me at the back there. Yeah, it's a nice book. It's quite big, 414 pages, 414 pages. It's quite healthy. Yeah, and yeah, we are hoping that soon we'll be doing March, as I mentioned, merchandise that I'm trying to push out. And I'm now using my hand to hold the phone because my legs got tired squeezing the phone. So that's my March. You see our broken soul flower over there. The back we have the QR code to my link tree. It will eventually become the QR code to the website. Can you see it? You can even, I hope you can see it. If you want, you can take your other phone. Me, I only have one phone. Take your other phone and get the QR code. You see, it's hashtag Humanitarian Chronicles. Yeah, so there's that. Where is the book, you might ask? So the book is at Kibanga Bookstore. At Kibanga Books is in the Nairobi CBD. Corner House, Kimathi Street, 5th floor. Corner House, Kibanga Books is there. Nuria Bookstore is the other outlet that has it. It's Nuria Bookstore is at the junction of Tubman Road and Moi Avenue, on the first floor of the bazaar where TSC used to be. It's also at the Bookworm Courtyard, the Bookworm Cafe in Gigiri Courtyard. Wonderful place. Go and grab yourself a coffee and have a copy of your book, or grab a copy and have a coffee. Yeah, the copy and coffee go together. Yeah, so go there to the Bookworm Cafe, Gigiri Courtyard. You have them there. In Kisumu, we now have them. Those people asking, Kisumu, unakuja Kisumu. Zimefika. Please, zimefika. Kianani zimefika. Don't. You know this thing of people that when they don't want to buy, the excuse is, oh, it's not in our city, we can't reach it. I'm like, it can be delivered. No. I'm not it right next to me. I want the book to come to me. Kisumu imekuja Silvanus, book imekuja hapo. Edu ulisema sijui nini, book imekuja. Victor, book imekuja. Jemo ushanunua. Uko tu sawa. David Wasamba, there's a gentleman called David Wasamba. not Wasambla, David Wasamba, my namesake. Book imekuja yako hata nimesign. Hebu go and pick from Ratuoro Bookshop. Ratuoro Bookshop is where it is, Oginga Odinga Street, Alpha Building. So please grab your copy from in Kisumu from Ratuoro Bookshop. Copies are there available. Feel free to go and pick. They are signed, so you don't have to worry about the autograph. But when I come to Kisumu for book signing or book reading, please bring it in. I can now put your name and write your message there if you want. But yeah, I've squiggled a proof and prescription there for you with my name. Where else we have it? We have it at the Organic Farmers Market. I need to write this down now, so I keep, 7 locations. It's now getting more and more. It was easy when there were 2 locations, 2 to 4. Yeah, we have it at the Organic Farmers Market in Karen, La Terrace, inside the La Terrace there. So walk in there, look for Grace and her book stand. You will find them there. Also signed, so autographed. Karibuni sana there. Then we have them on Amazon.com and Kobo.com. Those are the online versions that we have the book, where we have the book. So yeah, the 7 locations currently have them. Hopefully we'll be expanding to more locations very soon. Hopefully can get them to Nyeri. We're working that out. Pole. Yeah, and then speaking engagements, I will be there hopefully in the near future. Yes, 21st of this month. We'll be at the National Museums. There is the KMS pop-up market, the Kenya Museums pop-up market, where we'll have a lot of stuff. And then, of course, they've allowed us this year to have authors bring in their books and sell them there. So I will be at the KMS pop-up market at the National Museum on the 21st of this month, 21st of March, from 9, I think it's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pop in, find there. We are, I think, 10 authors, 10 Kenyan authors who've done our own books. We'll be bringing them there to display and sell. So Karibuni sana, please come and patronize us. There's a lot of other things there. Entry is free. So just come in there, and lots of other things. There'll be music, there'll be art, there'll be exhibitions of other kinds of things, but also the book. So please pop in, get a book, go to the exhibition, come back, get a book, get another book. Why not? Yeah, get books from other authors. So that is also on my social media handles. I've put it here on TikTok twice at least. Yeah, because they misspelled my name and called me Wasambia. I wrote Wasambla. They just copy and pasted Wasambla. Then someone thought, no, remove the L, put an I, not on top. Because yeah, Wasambia, my name has been butchered. My surname has been butchered. I have a whole joke about that. So I had to make sure that I did the joke with Wasambia. And then, yeah, I did the joke on TikTok. So I can still do it on stage. I'll do it on stage also one of these days. Yeah, so that's it. Remember Punchline Comedy every Wednesday. Tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Today's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah. Let's look at it. Yeah. It's Wednesday. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Yeah, so yeah, today evening 7 p.m. Pop into Two Grapes wine and friends. I wanted to say wines and spirits. Two Grapes Wine and Friends on Padmore Road in Kilimani. Pop in there from around 7:15 p.m. The free of charge entry is free of charge. Go and just have a laugh. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, the team is amazing. The crowd is amazing. The staff there are amazing. Yeah, go and have fun. Go and just laugh. New jokes every Wednesday. New jokes from new comedians every Wednesday. New jokes from old comedians every Wednesday. Pop in there and have fun. Even if you want to become a comedian, or you want to start comedy, or you don't know where to do your comedy, go there Monday every evening at the same location. Two Grapes Wine and Friends at the same location. Is this red getting cut? No, it looks still. I can't even. This one. It's still. We need to go fix it. Yeah. So yeah, pop in there Monday evening from 6:30 p.m. They have a workshop. There's a whole class where Eric and others actually training on nuances and aspects of stand-up comedy. Then there's a workshop for another hour. Now people break into teams, and comedians break into teams, and you share your jokes with them, and people help you to make it better, make it stronger, make it punchy. And yeah, go home, come back Wednesday, perform. So if you want to be a stand-up comedian, if you always wanted to try and you didn't know whether you could be funny, come. People who've come and told us, hey, I've never ever done comedy, but I think I have jokes. Then we go and do them together, and they come and they kill it on stage. Like, they kill it. People love them. We love them. We love you. Kuja. Don't keep your jokes to yourself. Yeah, so that's it. Oh yeah, before I go, I got this book. From this wonderful lady, Deportee. I'll be honest, but it's a yes, Homer. I got it just the other day before I started my travel issues, and flight was cancelled. I hadn't slept the whole night, slept the whole day, woke up again, went, and we've just been, trip has been crazy. Deportee by Wanjiku Gitagia. Please, It's a good book. She's a fellow author. She also has a books at Kibanga Books. Mi sidaga shida kutangaza mtu na kama sitangazwi. Yeah, so grab the potty. Look at her story. It sounds very interesting. Yeah, chukweli, go and get yourself a copy. Okay, people, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful morning. Have a wonderful whatever time you are. Make it wonderful. Enjoy yourself. I think I'll go back to bed now. Quite exhausted still from the trip that almost did me in. I have no idea. I was telling my sister that my body is aching in places I didn't even know I had, from carrying the bag and walking around and not being able to sleep for basically 48 hours. So yeah, me, I'll take a rest. Yeah, I'll keep you posted on how things go. We'll see. Let's see how this school thing goes for my mental health master's plan, so that I'm able to come back and do the thing that I want to be done, since nobody seems to want to do it. Even the people who should be reading, and they're not reading the book. Well, listen, ask humanitarians how many humanitarians have bought the book. There are those who told me that the moment the book is released, they buy it. I was so excited. I even did autographs for them. They never, for now, they ignore my call. They don't even respond to my messages. I sold your books. No, I gave them away. The ones you refused to come and pick. I take autograph for you. You're my friend. I thought you're going to support me. I gave them away. Yeah, I removed that page that had the autograph. I gave the book away. So I go and buy it in the bookshop. Don't know. Ask me to go now. Now I'm ready. Now where can I get the book from you? I don't go to the bookshops and buy from there. I would have given a discount. Now, see, you felt sweet. Go with the sweetness. See, no buy. Yeah. Well, when you start your business, don't expect your family to support you. Maybe one or two. But your friends, your friends, they'll do. They'll be like, "Hey, Anza will be there." Then when you start, yo, every time I've done business, my friends who were there when I was planning, yo, to Takuja, they were never there. Total strangers are there. Anyway, those are realities. Those are non-humanitarian realities of life. I gotta go. I had another story, but I want to. Let me one last one. The other day, I went to visit my cousin. I don't know if I've talked about this. I went to visit my cousin. Before that, the one time I went to a burial, and one of my elder sisters looked at me like I was a total stranger. I thought she was being disrespectful. Maybe she didn't know me. Anyway, now back to my cousin. So remember in the book, there's a cousin I talk about called Andrew. He's a magistrate, very well respected. He's an amazing guy. Very amazing. He saw me from childhood. These are people that we basically raised us, people who wiped our butts, so to speak, maybe even literally. He's much older than me. I think he's like 60 something now. So he's, again, much older. He's 10 years or something. But yeah, so Andy basically raised me. Andy saw me from childhood. Andy knows me. Andy knew me, knows me. Even when I talk about him in the book, Kakamega at his place when I was going to buy a black mamba to take back home for use at home and stuff like that. And when I was called about Russia, going to Russia, I was in his house. So you've seen that story. If you haven't seen that story, it's in here. Why am I telling you stories that you can buy a book? Buy a book and read. Yeah. So I was with Andrew when I was called about Russia when the late Arthur called me about Russia. So Andrew knows me. He thought he knew me. So the other day, like 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks ago, we had planned we hadn't met for some time. We hadn't met at least for 4 years because I hadn't done my locks then. So at least 5 years last time we met at his house. So I'm like, yeah, see, we need to catch up. Blah, blah, blah. I come to a place. So he invited me to his place on one of the Sundays. Well, a week and a half ago to his house. So drove, came over, Ubered over, came by Uber. Like, yeah, so he said, yeah, it's number 5. Yeah. So I called him because there was no bell at the gate. So I called him. Maybe there is, but I didn't see it. I'm like, yeah, Andy, I'm here. He's like, oh, okay, you're here. Yeah. So I can hear his voice from inside the house. And as he's talking on the phone, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, oh, you're here, yeah, where are you? I'm at the gate. Like, at the gate, yeah. Which gate? I'm like, at your gate. So I think in his mind, he probably, because I could hear him closer and closer, he probably was at the window, looking out, seeing, seeing this Rastaman at the gate that he did not know. So he's wondering who is the Rastaman at the gate, and my cousin should be at the gate. So he thought, I think in his mind, he thought I was at the main gate of the compound. I'm like, no, I am at your gate in your house number 5. I'm right outside your gate. Are you at my gate? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm coming to open. So he walked over and he's like, you could see a look of confusion of somebody who had no clue who he was talking to. And he was like, man, this is you. I'm like, yeah, this is me. My own relative, my cousin, my brother had forgotten me because of many people saw me last about what 6, 7 years ago. I was much slimmer. People who saw me on Houses of Kangwari, I was tiny. I was tiny. Baba Boy was slim. Baba Boy was really slim. People who saw me in the Eveready commercial, I was even slimmer then. Eveready was way before. Eveready was 2 or 3. You know, when I did it, so it came out 2 or 4, 2 or 5. So that's when it was running. I was still very small, short hair, slim, like really slim, like slim. So I was weighing like 55, 59 kilograms, and now I'm 85. And even now, I haven't even gone to the gym. When I go to the gym, I'm sometimes 86 of like humongous muscles. Right now, I'm tiny. So Andrew didn't know me. So Andrew, so so I'm waiting for, waiting for his brother Buka. When we meet. Yo, hey, yeah, wow. I've changed. I've changed. Apart from this, I think only the smile was left. Sometimes I tell people, remember they've already watched, but they're like, no. They're, oh, yeah, we see the smile. When you do this, you see the smile. It's you. I'm like, yeah, it's me. Anyway, so time to go now. I'm going for good. I'm going for real. Not for good, but for real. I need to rest so that I can figure out the rest of the day. I probably have a meeting with one of the lecturers in the course of today. Yeah, so have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here, for staying. Please like, share, subscribe, spread the word, let people know, comment, engage in the comments, engage in my email. Please let us engage about this. There's more stories. The 500 pages, 440 pages is just some of the stories that I can tell you in my 51 years of experience in this world, but also and other people's experiences. Watch out for the podcast where we'll now be spreading our wings wider and now doing interviews with other humanitarians and other people who've been in humanitarian fields, even to civilians. Watch out for that coming up soon. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Adios.